Hello everyone, drum tech drummer and YouTube educator Kenny Sharretts coming to you with the next installment of my snare tuning series. Now today I have one of my client Brad's brand new snare drums in and I'm super excited to rebuild it for him. It is the SJC 48 ply maple J. WEINBERG model. And I'm telling you y'all, both in sound and weight, this is as heavy as it gets, just like Jay's drumming. So we're going to take a look at this drum, both with its stock G2 head that it came with, and put the HD dry on it that my client Brad wants to have on his drum. And along the way, I'm going to show you how to tune this drum to several different tunings with both heads, so you can see just the breadth of this maple shell can give you just being such a face punch of a drum. So we're going to go ahead and listen to this drum from the beginning. Now at the moment, I started with a medium tuning, a B3 to an F sharp 4. That way you're getting that perfect fifth and getting a nice fat spread out of the shell, because this shell can be surprisingly deep in tone when tuned fat and have a lot of body to it when you tune it tight. So we're going to start with this tuning. All right, that's super fat. This mic away a little bit just to make sure I'm getting a good solid sound for y'all. And I like the sound, but if I take off these moon gels, which I put on when I tune a drum this big and boomy low, because if you don't, it's just a big singing, ringing tub. And if that's what you want, go for it. If you want the fat spread, get you some moon gels or a drum dot or some tape or a big fat snare drum donut, whatever you like. But one thing I'm noticing is if you hit this drum without the moon gels, the snare wires are buzzing a little bit more than I would care to have them buzz, which lets me know they aren't set up right. So the first thing we're going to do on this snare drum is set it up, y'all, with the snare wires. So let's go ahead and flip this beast of a drum over. And let's get this going, because the best part about getting these wires leveled and straight is not only is it an easy process with the SJC throw off, but also, you know, it allows the vents that are in the front of the drum of this huge shell to actually work better, because then you get the drier effect of this big fist punch of a drum. Now what I'm seeing here is that left to right, this drum set of wires is a little out of balance. If I pull my thumb on the plate, I can see right now that I could pull it. And if I look here, I can see that this is deeper in to the shell than this side. And this side is definitely off kilter. So what I want to do is go ahead and double check my tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. Yep, that's about as tight as it gets. Then I'm going to back it down. 5 good fat turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a small fifth because I felt like I went a good distance. And I'm going to engage the wires and see how it feels. I want to start this process with the wires engaged and at a medium tension. That way it's still engageable. It's not too loose to where if you have to loosen it up a touch after you do the adjustment, it comes undone. And that it's so tight that you have no room in case you need to tighten it up after this adjustment. Now SJC's throw off is pretty straightforward, and I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the butt side first so I can adjust these two together, because there's not much strap on this side, and I actually want to bring it over to the center of the drum just a little bit more via this way. Now I've undone the drum plate, the plate for the snare wires, just a little bit, not like super undone, just to where I can make it move. And look at this and see about setting this wire. I'm going to pull back on this side, which I still need to loosen up a touch. Again, I don't want to go too far. I want this to be an easy fix. Now it's moving, and I can look and kind of see how this plate is not sitting quite how I'd like it. So I'm going to break up the bite a little bit, make sure with my hands that these wires, there we go, we got the movement I want, that these wires are sitting evenly and parallel to the shell. And that's what I mean. Like, you want this, check it out from the camera side. I'll close up in on this. Now I'm going to turn this drum back over and let's see what we got. My gut instinct is the way it was looking. We're looking pretty good. All right, so let's see. All right, see, it's already cleaner and already singing better. So I'm going to tighten these up just a touch, give it a little touch. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Less rattle, less sing. And now, I get a crisp, rich snare sound that won't buzz when I hit toms that have heads on them. These are mesh heads right here. But it allows the drum to breathe better. And if you notice, it's a little bit louder too. A little more focused. Now I can go up just a touch more, but I'm going up little motions. Why? Right there. If you do these little buzzes in the center, you can feel the wires breathe right up, where I can get sensitive, juicy feelings like sensitivity across the board, yet still get a big fist punch. Of a snare drum sound. So let's take this up a few tunings and see what we can get as we move up the tuning range with its G2, and then take the HD dry through that range of tunings as well, y'all. Come on. Okay, y'all, so now we're at the first tuning level that we're going to engage in, which is we're going to raise this up just a whole step from a B to C sharp, so we have a perfect fourth. Because right now this drum is tuned to a perfect fifth, nice and medium to low. Boom, do, re, mi, fa, so. Yep. So we're getting the B to F sharp. Now I like this F sharp on the bottom. It's an F sharp 4. It is holding tight, giving me a good sound. So I'm going to go ahead and raise this drum up just a whole step. Now the key here is watching the turns I use, because, you know, sometimes at these medium to lower tensions, it doesn't take a lot once you cross a certain tension plane to tune the drum up. However, at lower tensions, it can take a lot to move it up and down the range. So you want to kind of learn your drum and see what it takes to move up. So I'm here. And we're actually at a half step there. I want to get up to here. Okay, so for the drummer who likes it low, when they're playing their metal, they want a big fat chunk, man. This is a great tuning. C sharp 3, or actually this would be a C sharp 4 to an F sharp 4, because we just crossed the plane. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get some drum dial settings for y'all quickly, double checking. Because I don't really use a drum dial or a tune bot, y'all, except for y'all. This is so y'all can kind of hear what's going on. So I'm gonna double check some things. C sharp 4, 277 on the nose. And remember, when you take these measurements, if you're not keeping the drum up and floating, always mute the bottom head. It really allows you to clarify the pitches that are going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get some drum dial settings for y'all. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the snares and take this drum up another big round of turns. Now we're going to go across our tensioning plane, because I got to put another head on. I want you to hear some of the differences in those tones. So we're going to go ahead and go up a set of 90-degree turns and see what this gives us. Now right now we're at a C sharp. And I want to take this up a round of 90-degree turns, but I actually would go ahead and we're going to go full 180s, y'all. So we're going to see just what a set of 180-degree turns do this. Now, my X's on the big X, where I was playing it, still showing it up. And I can hear a few more that are giving me just a little bit of pitch differential. So I'm just going to nudge them up about a 16th, just small turns. You can feel the tension right there. And that way your hands guide you as well as your ears. Now we got... At this moment, probably only need one moon gel, so. Oh yeah, but there's a certain snap that's missing from this drum, and I want to get it back. So I'm going to take this drum up. From the B, I tuned it down to the C. So before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and take this up to a D, because I know a lot of people like their drums really tight, especially a lot of blast beaters just want to be all, and I want to make sure you got that, because if I'm your tech, it's got to go. So let's take this up another round of turns. The question is, how big a turn? And now we have a perfect fourth. Bum, bum. Because as the tension gets tighter, the bottom head's going to pull up a little bit less, because now the tension's evening out. Now let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like with the perfect fourth. No muffling. Oh yeah, I'm loving it. And if you want to tighten it up just a little bit, let's go ahead and get her done, man. Let's get it right. Woo, y'all, that is absolutely insane. This drum is a faced punch. I mean, just a big old fist in the face of a drum, but these beautiful vents in the outside kind of dry it up a little. So if you're a metal drummer looking for a really just beastly fat metal drum, or drum from metal drumming, this might be an answer for you, because this thing's an animal, man. So let's go ahead and swap out heads. I'm going to show you how to install it, and then let's get it tuned up again to this C and to this D and compare some of our settings, y'all. So here we are, y'all, with the HD dry on the head, and we're going to go ahead and start with my finger tight technique. Now, when we do this, you can see these are down to the hoop, but they can still wiggle a little bit, man. I want wiggle. I want no tension on the hoop. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my 1-2 position. Now, I'm going to lean in a little bit so I can get this, but I'm going to make sure you guys can see it. So if I look funny, don't mock me too much. You mock me a little, because if we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at, you know? But easily, this is probably the most difficult yet important part of putting a drum head on when I do what I do. Because if you start with a balanced palette, you often end up with a balanced drum all the way around, and it just stretches evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and play this drum. Now you notice with that HD dry on it, we really don't need much muffling to make it work as we want. I'm going to loosen the snares just a touch on that, let it breathe. Now it's getting that big fat donkey crack. Like donk. And that's kind of what you want at these slower tensions. But with this head, I know that it sounds kind of best when you take it up tight. So we're going to go ahead and do this octave kick as soon as I take some settings. We're at 84 to 85 all the way around, y'all. And this is a good indication of what we got going on. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, double check my pitches. Now, again, I can hear it just a little flat. So I'm going to tap around with the moon gel in the center. And so you can see kind of when you're in that B to C range, especially when you're at a C, a set of 180-degree turns is probably going to bring you up about an octave. And then they'll be ready for you. That's the sound I wanted to hear. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up those wires just a bit again, so we're all... Oh man, that's absolutely cracking. My face actually hurts right now from hearing that tone. So this is that C to G. Bum, bum. Yep, that's a D and a G to me, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And again, these last couple tunings, no muffling. Oh my God. Now that's absolutely ripping in my ears, ripping in my face, y'all. That is a beautiful, beautiful tuning. So I hope you've enjoyed this tuning, this installation of how to tune a snare using the SJC J. Weinberg model, y'all. I hope my client is going to be happy with the tuning I'm going to give him, which is I'm going to knock it down, back down to that C to G, because I think that's going to be where he loves it. And until then, please watch more videos on my YouTube channel, YouTube Kenny Sharretts, and don't forget to stream direct step-by-step tuning lessons like this one at kennysharretts.com.